EOP. I'm Sara Rae Wisniewski.
And I'm Marlee Pinchuk. Thanks so much for joining us.
A new hilarious trend is taken all over social media called the Dolly Parton Challenge.
Yes, now everyone is doing it. Everyone and their mother. Now, the challenge started after Parton tweeted a photo of herself in 9 to 5. She put that as her LinkedIn image, a portrait of herself for the Facebook image, a throwback for the Instagram, and a photo of herself in a Playboy bunny costume for her Tinder image.
So naturally, Marlee and I had to take a shot at it. So let's take a look at the first one. We're gonna pull up yours first.
We'll start with the LinkedIn. It's profesh, you know, it's taken on a professional DSLR camera. I'm posing just, you know, on the anchor desk. Very professional, and that's what LinkedIn is. The Facebook, okay. Mar, graphic designers can never. No, so this one is actually on my Facebook page. I remember posting it. I think I was 10 or 11 in that picture. I always looked very young and small. But I loved it. Like, I thought it was creative, you know, the flower borderline on it. I thought it was very family friendly, we'll say, because that's how the Facebook ones are supposed to be, you know,
of course, yes.
Family friendly. Instagram, I thought, you know, I live in Pittsburgh, it's aesthetic, I'm sitting on a bridge, Instagram picture. And then Tinder picture, that's supposed to be, you know, it could either be the, you know, living life one, maybe like a risque one, just, you know, a Tinder picture, whatever you perceive Tinder as. So I just picked a basic one. It was me at the beach. But yes, this is my Dolly Parton challenge, a take on it.
Of course. So I have mine. My LinkedIn picture is pretty much the same as yours in front of these exact curtains here. You know, professional. Then I have my Facebook one. I feel like you said, Facebook is like for moms, for your family to see.
Yeah.
So I feel like I post a lot of my traveling photos on there. So I have me down the shore, you know, just smiling, where I spend my whole summers down the Jersey Shore.
Yes.
So that's Facebook. Instagram, of course, a selfie. I love my Instagram aesthetic. I take a lot of pride and hard work into it.
You do.
So everyone's got to have a good Instagram selfie up. And then Tinder, we have, again, another beach pic. I basically live at the beach, but, you know, classic red.
Yes, and it's that, you know, smolder look. It's
a little
hey guys,
spicy.
No, I love that. Well, you know, as I said, everyone's doing that. It's so
Every
funny.
celebrity.
And it's so fun to, you know, look at.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of another trend that's went viral on social media, a TikTok video is sparking concern for parents. Now, if you don't know what TikTok is, basically it's an app where people can discover and create singing, dancing, and funny videos in general. But this new challenge, referred to as the Outlet Challenge, is no entertaining matter.
Take a look at this video we're talking about. The challenge involves partially inserting a charger into a wall outlet and then sliding a penny down into the brick's exposed metal prongs. The result is a blast of electrical sparks.
Now, watching this video, it's absolutely insane how dangerous this is. Like, how close you are to that sparking electricity. Not only could it, you know, potentially burn down a floor, a building, a room, or anything, but it could electrocute you.
Right. I think it's super dangerous, especially since the TikTok demographic is normally younger adults or younger kids. So like, I don't want to see little kids getting shocked.
Exactly. And plus, like, you know, as you said, TikTok is usually a younger demographic, so they're not showing their parents what's on TikTok and everything. So some of them are more inclined to, you know, just try it out, see what it's like. But, you know, there's been multiple interviews over the internet about firemen saying, please, like, you know, don't do that. It's so dangerous, and it's not a good thing.
Right. I mean, I think there's always going to be some kind of trend type video that people are doing that can be considered dangerous. I mean, if you look back at even, like, I don't know when this was, like 2010, when people were doing the cinnamon challenge, when they were eating spoonfuls of cinnamon. Remember that?
I did that.
Yes, I did that too. And like, people were getting hospitalized, like stuff like that. I feel like there's always going to be a trend of that at the moment. It's just hard to get away from.
It's very hard to get away from.
Because once you see one person do it, you're like, that seems fun, let me try it too, even though people are being hospitalized.
Exactly. Well, real quick, you mentioned the cinnamon challenge. So I have asthma, and I did it. And before I even realized that that could have such a harmful effect because it clogs your lungs.
Right.
You know? No, but like you said, I think it's such a competition with these challenges.
Right. They want to see who can do it the most extreme, who can do it the best, and
yeah,
can have some dangerous effects.
Exactly. Well, we have to go to a really quick break, but stay tuned. Our EOP reporter Lindsay Carson has details on a big name coming to the Berg, plus a chance for college students to do some comedy stand-up.
Go. Go to our new website, uview.plainpark.edu. Go, 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 go.
Join UView and find your herd.
Be like, join EOP. And 3, 2, join EOP.
I was just saying, grab them now, or else I can stuff.
Yeah.
Join on point with politics. 3, 2, 1.
Join Pioneer Sideline.
Loneliest number that you'll ever do.
Welcome back to EOP. We have Lindsay Carson in the studio to let you know the latest in celebrity news.
Justin Bieber announced that he is going on tour this year. This tour, called Changes, will be coming to Pittsburgh. Bieber is scheduled to play at PPG Paints Arena on August 4th of 2020. Bieber also announced that $1 from each ticket purchase will go towards the Bieber Foundation, which was founded to provide support for mental health and wellness. Tickets will start going on sale on January 30th, and a limited amount of VIP packages will be sold as well. Bieber's new album will be released on Valentine's Day. The announcement of Bieber's tour came shortly after his ex Selena Gomez says that she experienced emotional abuse from Bieber during an interview with NPR. While talking about her relationship with the Yummy singer, Gomez said, quote, "I'm not being disrespectful. I do feel like I was the victim to certain abuse," end quote. She later stated that it seemed like emotional abuse. Bieber hasn't responded to Selena's interview, but he did post on Instagram back in September that he abused all his relationships. In Point Park news, Point Perk will be hosting a comedy night with 2 Point Park students doing stand-up. You might have seen posters around campus promoting a comedy night at Point Perk happening on Tuesday, February 4th. Point Park students Zach and Darnell will be the comedians headlining this event. The show is free, and Point Perk will be providing free popcorn while supplies last.
Well, Justin Bieber, he's coming back.
Yes. We have a lot of big tours coming here this year. So it was surprising to hear that he was able to get PPG Paints Arena in August.
I was shocked to see that he is spending some time in Pennsylvania. He's going to Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, and State College.
Wow.
Like, that's wild.
Wow.
I'm not surprised. That sounds like a party.
Which, lucky for me, I can go to all 3 dates.
Exactly, because you're from Philadelphia.
Yes.
Amazing. That's perfect, yeah. And it's kind of crazy how he announced that his, like, $1 from each ticket is going to his Bieber Foundation, which supports mental health, right after Selena Gomez says that she was emotionally abused by him.
Yes. So hopefully we can take this as Justin learning from his mistakes. But I am happy, though, that Selena responded in such a way that she wasn't directly coming at Bieber and hating on him. She's talking about as an adult in such a respectful manner.
Right.
Yeah.
She's just talking about what she experienced and how the relationship affected her. But like I said, Bieber talked about in September how he was in a really bad place and he abused all of his relationships. So I think he's learned from it.
Learned from it, and he's admitting
right.
to it. You know, he's not pushing anything under the rug.
Yeah, he's not
like
denying it. So obviously I think he's trying to work to be a better person.
Exactly.
Right.
And the comedy stand-ups at Point Park, that's awesome. Point Park always has these little performance opportunities for, you know, anyone to come and show off their talents. And no, that's awesome. I'll be in attendance probably. I love stand-up comedy.
Yeah, we have a lot of really talented students at this school, and actually one of the people doing the stand-up, they're my friend, and he, like, I know him, he's really funny, so I think it's going to be a really good show.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Well, Lindsay, thank you so much. The time has come for football fans because the Super Bowl is this Sunday. Our reporter Brisa Basista has everything you need to know about the notorious halftime show. Plus, if your plans are still up in the air for where you're going to watch the game, well, we've got that covered as well.
We are coming close to the NFL championship game, calling for many watch parties taking place around Pittsburgh. This year, the Super Bowl falls on February 2nd with the San Francisco 49ers playing against the Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to be playing at the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. The national anthem will be sung by Grammy-nominated Demi Lovato, while the anticipated halftime show will be headlined by Jennifer Lopez and Shakira. Talk about woman empowerment. This is super exciting because it brings diversity with two Hispanic icons performing at the Super Bowl. Together, that greatly represents the Latinx community. Grab your friends and pick a place to watch the national phenomenon. In Pittsburgh, there will be watch parties at Pork and Beans on 6th Street, 10 Penny on Penn Ave, and of course, the Hard Rock Cafe in Station Square. All tickets for those events are being sold on Eventbrite for $20 to $30. But if you're looking to save some extra cash and have an amazing time anyway, SAEM and CAB will be hosting a free watch party here at Point Park University. The watch party will be held from 5 to 11 p.m. on the second floor of the Student Center with free food and giveaways. Regardless, be sure to make the last football game of the season one to remember.
Now, if I'm going to be honest, I don't care about football. I don't. I don't understand it, and I never will. But the performances is what I'm here for.
Yes.
Definitely.
Oh my goodness. And you know, as you were talking about, this performance in particular is going to be one to remember because you know they're both Latina, and that's so awesome. You know.
Right. And I'm super excited for it because growing up, the performances were the only reason I would watch a Super Bowl. I have no idea how football works, like you said, but I would always look forward to the performances. And this year, especially because I'm Latina myself, so they're like two icons that I grew up listening to, you know, and I'm excited to see how they sing together at the Super Bowl.
Yes, we need that diversity.
Yeah,
so
but,
that's amazing.
Especially Demi Lovato, though. She just performed at the Grammys.
I was just gonna say that. I gotta say, sometimes Demi has had some really like shaky live performances that people look back on, and she's kind of taken a break. She's been on the down low.
Yeah.
And when she performed at the Grammys, I was taken away. I did not expect that. So I have high hopes for her singing at the Super Bowl.
Yes.
I'm pretty excited.
No, exactly. No, that girl has just climbed up the ladder.
Right.
Honestly. No, but you know, as you said, whenever she performed at the Grammys, she was in tears. Just, it was a beautiful performance. So, she's got it going on.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what to expect at the Super Bowl this time.
Yes, exactly. Well, thanks, Brisa. Finally, we have Olivia Pagone making her EOP debut. Now she has the latest on a celebrity marriage.
A little over a week ago, former NFL quarterback Tim Tebow and Miss Universe 2017 Demi Lovato made their love official and got married. Tebow first surprised Demi back in January of 2019 when he proposed to her. He surprised her by proposing at his family's farm and invited both of their families to be there to celebrate the big news. Their wedding was on Monday, January 20th in South Africa with their family and friends. They knew that they wanted to have a destination wedding and ended up choosing where Demi was born and raised. They included both American and South African traditions within the ceremony. Instead of asking their guests for wedding presents, the couple gave an option to make a donation to the Tim Tebow Foundation. The Tim Tebow Foundation has been sponsoring an annual Night to Shine event for many years. This event celebrates the lives of children and adults with special needs. Demi and Tim have been working with the foundation for a great deal of years and has become a huge part of their life together. They wanted to share this part of their life with everyone on their big day.
Oh, well, first of all, congratulations to the married couple. And how cool is it that, you know, these celebrities are really making the initiative to, you know, allow their supporters to donate to such really amazing causes, you know?
Yeah, I think it's so cute that they've been doing it together throughout their like entire relationship too.
Yeah.
Right. And I think it's such a good idea too, because honestly, if you were to attend a celebrity wedding, like you think celebrities have it all. So honestly, might as well donate than give them gifts that they could buy for themselves.
Oh, exactly.
I think that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah. And how do you feel about this couple? Do you ship it?
I do. I think they're so cute together. Like when they started dating, I was like, okay, I'm in love. Like they're so cute.
Oh
yes,
my
they
gosh.
are really cute.
Oh, well, that's so cute. Such a great cause and a beautiful marriage overall. Well, thanks, Olivia. That's all the lifestyle and celebrity news we have for today, but stay tuned. In honor of the Super Bowl coming up this Sunday, our film forecasters are ready to debate what the best sports movie is. That is coming right after the break.
What's one word to describe CAB?
Welcoming.
Community.
Creative.
Experiences.
Family. Openness.
Pineapple.
The Campus Activities Board is a student-run organization that consists of 7 different committees. Each focuses on event planning, marketing, and administrative activities. Join us in organizing the juiciest events on campus, from late-night bingo to festive dances to our team bonding meetings. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Point Park Cap, or like us on Facebook at Campus Activities Board at Point Park University.
Good evening and welcome to Newsnight. I'm Josh Troop alongside Jess Paterchak.
Defending his decision to kick out 15 Cuban diplomats from the United States. Thanks, Allison. Fitness on Demand has returned to Point Park.
Residents fear that Mount Agung will have a repeat of 1963's eruption.
2-star NFL quarterbacks made the headlines this week after wrapping up.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this evening. That's your news tonight. For Nick Tomarello, I'm Alex Grubbs. Have a great night.
I'm Evan Laurent, and welcome back to Film Forecasters. With the big copyrighted game coming up this weekend, it feels only appropriate to discuss the best sports films out there. It doesn't have to be a football film. It can be any sports movie, as long as it focuses on that sport. So it can't have one scene with the sports part in it. It has to be the main focus. But first, let's introduce our panel. I'm joined by, oh man, it's a big panel today. Joined by Colton Tobias, Dan Compton. I think you're making your debut today too, right?
I am, yes I am.
I am too, yeah.
2 at the end there, making their first appearance. I'm joined by Ray Hosenstab and Lindsay Carson. All right.
That's true.
So let's make it simple. What's your favorite sports movie?
Talladega Nights.
Man, I know if you ain't first, you're last, though. So just
That's right, Evan.
Tell us why you like this movie.
Well, I'm a little biased, Evan, because I'm a huge NASCAR fan. I've always been to, and this was actually the first PG-13 movie I ever got to see in theaters. My dad and my brother took me because he knows how much I love NASCAR. And there's just so many memorable quotes from it, and it just cracks me up every time I watch it.
Similar to you, I really like that movie. And something about it is every time you watch it, it's one of those rare movies. The first time I watched it, I was like, this is okay. I mean, it's okay. But then I'm like, okay, each time I watched it, I noticed something funnier and funnier about it. So that's a quality every comedy movie should have. Dan, what is your favorite? Don't interrupt me. What is your favorite sports movie? Ray, easy. Dan, what is your favorite sports movie?
My favorite sports movie is Remember the Titans.
That is a good movie. Do you know, like, what are some of the reasons you like it?
Well, first of all, I'm a big fan of Denzel Washington. He's a great actor. Second of all, I don't know, I've always loved football, but I don't know, it just kind of hits you hard it was taking place in a time where racism was big, and I don't know, I always like those kinds of movies, but I love football too. I'm an Eagles fan, as you can see, so.
It's a feel-good story too, you know.
It really
makes
is.
After watching it, it makes you feel a little.
Kind of leaves you with a good feeling.
Mm-hmm. And kind of an underdog story too. Ray.
Miracle. I'm not surprised.
Explain why you like Miracle.
Well, it tells the story of the U.S. team in 1980 beating the Soviets after finally beating the Soviet team after having lost them in consecutive years because of how powerful the Cold War was at the time. The U.S. Soviet Union, there was a lot more at stake, and for the U.S. team to finally beat the Soviet team with a bunch of non-professional players, it was only a matter of time before it was made into a story, and the way it was done was pretty good.
A lot of these sports movies are underdog stories and, uprising, feel-good stories about, a team overcoming the challenges of what's up against them, really. And I know Kurt Russell he had a good performance in that too.
Absolutely.
So yeah, underdog stories are pretty notable in films, and
especially with this one having been steeped in the Cold War.
Mm-hmm. My favorite sports movie has to be Dodgeball. That's a true underdog story. Lindsay.
Okay, so I have two, and then I have an honorable mention. But my first one would be Youngblood, which is another hockey movie starring Rob Lowe. It's, again, like the underdog story. He's not, he's in junior hockey, and he came from, a farm, so he's not, the guy that grew up playing with a lot of talented players, but he is a really talented player. He just can't fight, so he has to learn how to fight. And the second one is Keanu Reeves is a football player in The Replacements. They're called The Replacements because the football team originally goes on strike, and they get people one's a bodyguard, the other one's a soccer player. They get a ton of random people, and they end up making a really good football team. And then my honorable mention is High School Musical. That's a sport movie. They play basketball.
It can be considered one. I mean,
come on. They play basketball. They play baseball. There's always sports going on in High School Musical. You gotta appreciate it.
If you say so. Are there any sports movies from anyone that you don't like, that you find to be overrated or a little bit fictionalized, that just doesn't make sense?
Let me just bust out the saw and just say High School Musical.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow, shots fired.
I agree with that.
I've never seen it, so I don't have a dog in this fight.
To me, it's just even without the rose-colored glass nostalgia, because of again family, it was like they kept playing it and playing it. It's like when you have it played so often, it's not that interesting to begin with. It loses that lust. It would lose luster as is if it had any to begin with.
See,
the entire to me, and then it was like it just kept going with the second movie, then the third movie. It's like,
that's
guys,
how it works. If you can milk it to make as much money as you can, and people keep seeing it, why not make more? And listen, I like sports. I like musicals. You put them together, I'm gonna like it.
But you could have done better.
That's why those two sequels were made, Ray, was because of money.
Yeah, that's what Disney likes to make money.
Everything's made because of money. That's how everything works.
Disney knows how to milk a franchise.
That's true, but it worked. They went on tour. That's true. They did everything, But it's a good, obviously it's not as much about the sports as it is about the singing and dancing. But it is interesting because Zac Efron's character is trying to choose between singing and dancing and sports, and they're like, wait, you can do both, which I think is a really cool message.
Now, don't hate me, but the movie that you might agree with me or not, but I've never been crazy about the Sandlot movie. Just something about it, I don't know. It feels a lot like one of my favorite movies of all time is Stand By Me, and it just feels like a ripoff of that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But other than that, there's a few sports movies. On The Blind Side, it's a good movie, but it's notorious from Michael Orr from fictionalizing what he actually went through in life. And he's publicly criticized it, saying that he's not a fan of it because it made him look like he didn't know what football was whenever he was younger. And it made him look like that family taught him how to play it, or his whole life he actually liked football.
Yeah, I guess it did kind of paint him in a bad light. It made him seem really, clueless. And, yeah, I can see that. I understand that.
Yeah, but it was a great movie. It won awards and everything, but, yeah, I do see that.
Right.
Yeah. I guess it worked out for because he won a Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens in 2012, so it worked out great.
And he went to another one with the Panthers,
right?
Yeah,
the Panthers when they lost to the Broncos 3 years ago.
And I believe he's retired
now. He's
Yeah.
retired now.
Well, I hope we have a battle on Sunday in the big game like we had here on our panel today. But for now, we'll see you next week or whenever.